Greetings, peace, love, and light. Everybody doing? It's Mycology, the traveling medicine man, and happy spring equinox, everybody. You feel me? I've been waiting for this time, for this season. You know, it's been a challenge out here in America during it's been seeded, been planted. You know, it's gonna come into fruition. You know, and the energy gonna kick up. So today, you know what I'm saying, to kick off this spring equinox coming out of LA, you feel me, at the heart, you feel me, of the city. Legendary hip hop, b-boy dancer, MC, artist, you feel me, and legendary, you feel me, to the Rastafari and indigenous culture, you feel me. How you doing today, King? Bless up.
What's up, King?
Yeah.
How you doing, King?
Man, giving thanks to the Most High, giving thanks to life, you feel me?
Let's see.
Yes. Yeah, I'm happy to be on this with you, brother. We've been building for some time, you know, in many different realms, you know what I'm saying? And just wanted to bring you on live, you know what I'm saying? And get a chance to really build, really talk about some things, you know what I'm saying? Showcase it to the people. I like that background too. That painting behind you, I don't know what it is. It looked very sacred, very ancient.
That's a mask.
Okay. That's what it is.
The brother Malcolm Emilio, shouts out to Malcolm. You know, blessed I up with that. You know, well, he blessed the church up with, you know, enough artifacts, and that's one of them right there. I'm grateful for.
Yes. Give thanks for the artifacts, indeed. And just for the folks, you know, for the world, if you want to introduce yourself, let everybody know, you know, the services, you know, that you're offering to the world.
All right. Well, yeah, my name is Orah. You know, Jah Orah to a lot of people, you know, Orah to many, you know, Dohghan to those in the mushroom community, you know, Dohghan Orah. I'm the owner of the First Church of Mycology here in Los Angeles, California, which is off of Vermont and 46th Street, 47th Street. I've been up for about going on 3 years, 2 of them really, you know, from the grand opening 2 years, but, you know, we've been pushing for quite some time, you know, in the development of bringing this place to where it is now. It's been some time, you know, so we're about 6 years going strong now, you know, 4 years with getting some of the things established and, you know, working out the kinks and rebuilding the place, making it something that people can come in and enjoy. It's a place and space for the community, you know, and so far we've been utilizing it for that purpose and activating in that manner. We have a strong network, you know, of mostly young people, you know. The young people really come out and bring life to the place, you know, and bring the community together. And I think that's strong. That says a lot.
That's all.
You know, I feel like we're supposed to, as the older ones, we're supposed to set the foundation, you know, and spearhead certain things so that the youth can come in and do what they're supposed to do, you know, and do what they do best, you know, bring life, new ideas and creativity to the space, you know. So that's been our stronghold, you know. The youth are the first congregation of the church. It's them every day, you know. I give thanks for them every day. I have a real strong group of individuals dedicated to health and wellness and healing.
Come on.
Right?
Yes.
Since before they even met me, you know, which is a great thing because they're truly about their purpose.
Yes.
And I give thanks for that. You know, our job is to help them or assist them rather in their goals and meeting their goals, you know, because their goals are our own, you know, as well.
Right.
You know, as the older ones, we want to see things change, you know, for the better. We want to know that our implementation or our you know, thing that we offering is good enough to assist them in getting to where they want to, you know, where they need to get so that this thing can change and be what it's supposed to be. So this is the First Church of Mycology. It's a place where they can come and do this, you know, and this is also a place where people can come and learn mycology, the basics of it, you know, without getting into too much of the scientific words and, you know, the long, you know, frustrating processes that are really just teaching moments that are necessary. You know, I've been through all of those things, you know, all the frustrations and all of it's necessary to get you where you want to go. Ultimately, it teaches you patience, like growing locks from your head.
Okay.
It teaches you patience.
That's
you
all.
know, it teaches you patience. To recognize that the organism is something that moves on its own time, you know, for its own divine purpose, you know. And a lot of times our intentions don't meet up with that. So it might take a little longer for us to get the desired results. But the job, the work is to keep going and to program yourself, you know, deprogram yourself from thinking like an oppressor and then reprogram yourself to having the respect for the organism and life, period, right?
Yeah.
And to me, in my perceptions and in my opinion, what that looks like is cultivation over growing. Like, okay, I don't grow a mushroom. I don't grow a mushroom. If I grew a mushroom, I would have to go see a doctor and it would be a problem because it would probably be like right there or something, or like right here or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't grow a mushroom, but I can cultivate an atmosphere so that the organism, which is mycelium, can grow the mushroom,
So
right?
yourself, yeah,
So it
sure.
becomes respecting the organism again, you know what I'm saying? And not really dwelling so much on the mushroom, but really respecting the organism so that the mushroom will come, because mushrooms are going to come. That's what the organism does, you know? And it does it even better when you can deal with it in grace, you know? And whatever that looks like to the person, though, you know what I'm saying? It's not my rules. It's what grace looks like to the person, you know? Like, people talk to plants, they talk to animals, you know what I'm saying? Have some respect for the mycelium, you know what I'm saying? And don't just wait for the mushroom, but have some respect for the mycelium, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Yeah.
No, real talk, brother. Yeah, you know, growing up, I used to be around folks, you know, who had access to mushrooms, as far as like the psychoactive ones, and I used to like eat mushrooms. You know what I'm saying? Growing up, it wasn't like something that was a part of like appealing, you know, to me. But as I got older and actually took some psilocybin mushrooms, that's when the whole world of mycelium opened up to me, where certain downloads about the connection to the earth and connection to, you know, all life and existence in the universe was very, you know, relevant. But also the information about like studying more about mycelium and psilocybin and components of them and everything, and how they work and how they operate. And so ever since I've been getting in that world, a lot of things in life has just been opening up for me, you know what I'm saying? And you know, for you, like, how did you get into like mycology? Like, what was your calling to like work with mushrooms?
Well, the way I got into mycelium and mycelium was, let's start there. You know, the way that I got into mycelium, I was like, I want to say about probably like 15, 14 or 15,
Mm.
right? And I got this brother named Graphics, you know, Mikey. Shout outs to Mikey Elmer Gregory.
Right.
It's my OG brother. Like, I wanted to be like him when I was growing up. You know what I mean?
Real talk. Real talk.
So anyway, we used to have these books when I was a kid called High Times magazines.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Mad magazines too.
Okay.
And in the
Yeah.
back of those magazines, they used to have these strips of information,
Mm.
and those informations would be like black market or you know, that underworld type vibe of psychedelics and
On
stuff that you could acquire.
the low. Yeah.
Yeah, we used to always think it was like, you know, when you were a kid, you make up stories about what shit probably is. So we created all kind of thoughts about that. And then, you know, one time, I guess he took some of that stuff serious. So he sneakingly ordered some mushroom syringes, some spore syringes,
Mm.
right? And I remember him showing them to us and stuff. And back then, it wasn't no computers, right?
Right.
So, yeah, so he had pictures of it, though. You know what I'm saying? And he could show me in magazines and stuff like that.
Right. Right.
So
Right.
he would show me, and he would be like, you know, yeah, when you buy them, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't even look like that. It just looks like water. And so we can get them because it just looks like water. I was like, but what if we get caught? He was like, it looks like water. You know what I'm saying? I was like,
Uh.
so he ordered some. He ordered some
Okay.
syringes, they came to the house or whatever, and you know, he had an uncle who's, you know, did his thing, so it came to the house or whatever, and then he took those and he made some BFR cakes. You know what I'm saying? Some brown
What's that? What's that?
BFR, brown rice and flour.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, see,
Brown rice flour cakes, right? And he started his cultivation there. So a lot of times when you first starting off in mycology, well, at least back in the day, we wouldn't do the whole big substrate, grain spawn, extra run, you know,
yeah,
bulk.
yeah.
We wouldn't do all that. We would basically take your brown rice, you know what I'm saying, and your what they call that shit again, bro? I'm having a brain for it right now. Anyways,
Like the
it's
cocoa. Okay, go ahead.
it's the part we put on to aerate everything and stuff like that from the
Okay,
top.
sure.
Vermiculite.
Exactly.
So we take brown rice, flour, and vermiculite, and you know we make these cakes in these little jars. You know what I'm saying? Smush them down. You know, sterilize them, inoculate them, right? And then you let the mycelium run.
Yeah.
Crack them and turn them upside down in your terrarium that you're gonna build. Back then, the terrariums were, you know, we had the white rocks at the bottom, a little bit of, you know, you had to rack over that, you know what I'm saying, and then you put your cakes on there, and you spray and you fan and you top it, lit it, and you
Wow.
fly in the dark, and you let it do what it do. And these little cakes would grow mushrooms all over them, and so that was the first one. So he, back then we didn't know about the plastic tubs, so he had a small fish tank, right?
That's powerful.
He gets in trouble at home with his mom. She kicks him out, okay? Mind you, he like 16 or 17. She kicks him out. He you know, he had to leave with this.
Yeah, to leave.
He had to leave
Right.
with this fish tank full of mushrooms in it, bro.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? So he cultivated the mushrooms. You know, I mean, he harvested mushrooms, most of them, and then he brought the cakes over to my house under a jacket. And he asked me, he said, "Yo, can you keep these?" And I was like, "What is that?" The mushrooms. And he was like, "Can you keep them?" I was like, "Keep them where?" He was like, "In your closet in the room." I was like, in who closet? In who room? You know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, my mom sees some mushrooms growing and it's over. You know?
Right. Damn, y'all
Like
was deep
I'm
in it.
like you gonna get kicked out. I'm gonna get kicked to hell. I'm
Right.
going she gonna kill me, bro. Right?
Indeed.
I was like, no,
Indeed.
sir. So anyway, you know, we
That's true.
talking, and he's assuring me, and then, you know, so I end up keeping them. So I keep them, and just like I said, you know, moms saw that stuff in the room and was like, "Get the shit out the closet. You're very dirty, and this room is dirty, and I'm about to kill you." Basically, you know, get it out of here now because I'm about to lose it right now. Like, so you got 5 minutes. I'm gonna turn around. I'm gonna walk out. I'm gonna come back in here. It better be gone, out of here. I don't know what that is, but it's growing in your closet. She was going on. You know what I'm saying? So that was my first introduction to cultivations or mushrooms or even seeing what that even looked like, right?
Oh,
So I learned that through Mike. That's the first thing. When as I got older, shout out to my brother Cezanne, Andre Ariel, he just passed away. Shouts out to him. He's the leader of the first group that I was with, you know, the first dance crew, hip hop, underground crew type setting, type vibe. He was like the first one.
yes, sir.
And the crew was called Is Crew. And I remember one night, you know, he had acquired some mushrooms, you know what I mean, and we were all practicing. We used to practice every day, every day. Back then, when you was a dancer, you met up with your homies, and y'all, what they call today lab, y'all practice or lab all day. After school, all the way to the nighttime till it's time for people to go home. We did this every day. We smoked herb, we danced, listen to hip hop. We did it in the homies' garage, and that's it. And then when club night came, that's when we battled everybody. We just went and we would just go back. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what it was about. It was about battling. So we go in the clubs and we battle. Well, one of these nights, we was rehearsing or practicing and stuff, and he had some mushrooms, and boom, he gave us some mushrooms. right?
Mm.
Ate the mushrooms.
Mm.
Bro,
Mm.
that mushroom, and we vibed the music. I heard the music different. And I think that's probably like one of the first days where I got doper.
Just off top. Just as soon
Oh,
as you
I
took that
got
mushroom.
dope off
Man, that's a deep one. That's a deep story.
because fear leaves your body.
Right, right. You ain't thinking no more. You
You're
ain't,
not
yeah,
thinking no more,
you just
bro. You don't
going.
even care like that. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
now it's second nature. So now your waves is just like
Woo,
extra
you just
crazy. You
activate.
know what I'm saying? Your waves is what when you bop, bop, all the hits to every beat you hitting to beats where you wasn't hitting to before. Like you was always on the
Right, it's like a boom bop.
yeah,
Right.
you on the boom bap, but then you start listening to acid jazz and different forms of hip hop that are not like boom bap. Your mind goes elsewhere. So when we got on that and we was practicing and stuff, and I just remember like opening up, and it was just a little taste. It wasn't even a lot because I was scared to do so. I ate a little bit. You know what I'm saying? It was a little feeling, but that feeling just to feel the music and hear the music different. We ain't even talking about no visual,
Right.
nothing. Feeling, hearing, dope, best thing, right?
Mm.
Time goes on, time goes on, time goes on. My father passes away. When my father passes away, you know what I'm saying? I'm in the club again. The mushrooms come around. Okay. Sezen has them again. All right. He passing them out. I was upset that I was getting small ones. I'm always upset that I got the smallest because I was the youngest one. So I was always mad that I got the smallest one.
That's interesting.
Back then, I didn't know
That was the most
that the small
concentrated.
ones got just as much psilocybin in them
Right.
as the big
Right.
ones,
That's what I'm
as the
saying.
full
Exactly.
ones.
Exactly.
Because mushrooms are given, they're assigned the psilocybin that they're gonna have through their
Mm-hmm.
growth from the time that they're,
Nah,
basic all the way to the, you
exactly.
know what I'm saying? So from the time of a hyphae knot even, you know what I'm
Mm.
saying?
Mm.
That mycelium already has worked out what's going where. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So I used to get upset, I was getting these small ones and stuff. And I ate those small ones, bro. And I vision of my pops, you know,
Oh,
and
wow.
you know, and in that vision with my pops, pops was like my dad's favorite thing used to be to watch me and my little brother dance.
Huh. Okay.
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 Like he used to wake us up in the middle of the night. Okay. While he was around his drunk homies and they'd be all herbed up and drank, just finished slapping dominoes all night and making a whole lot of noise. The music is on. You know what I'm saying? They got the radio or something playing and then some hip hop come on.
Right. Right.
He find the room. Hey, y'all get up. Y'all get up. Get up. Get up. Come in the front row. Get up. Get up. Get up. Come dance. Come dance. Get up. Like, I don't want to. He like, boy, get your ass up.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I
Right.
get up.
Right. No, you're gonna get
Get
this
up,
energy.
my little break. Get up, we get up. We do the routines. We smash. We do the whole thing. It was just like it was the most beautiful thing to have your pops really like champion you and your little brother like that. And, you know what I'm saying? Get you up to entertain his friends and talk good about you. And them is my boys. That's what he always
Right.
used to
Right.
say.
That's what's up.
Shout out to my pops. But and
That's
so
for sure.
we were there in the club, caught a vision of him, and the way the vision went was, it's like, the mushrooms hit, everybody disappeared.
Mm.
Everybody in the room disappeared. Mushrooms hit, everybody disappeared because the clubs that we used to be in, and I think the club was called the Graveyard Shift.
All right.
It was called the Graveyard Shift. All right. And the Graveyard Shift was a dark club with a lot of different rooms in it.
I was about to ask, like, what was the vibration? Like you said, the graveyard shit. That ain't sounding too
Okay,
high.
so it was like four
Mm.
rooms. It was like four rooms, and you had different music in each room,
Okay.
right? And the hip hop room was the one.
Yeah, that was the one that was slamming.
That was the one because you had your elite dancers in there. Jacid is on right now. Look, see, he said, we know. He said it right now.
Only me know. No, real
Look,
talk.
the graveyard shift was something crazy, man. 4 rooms, different music. I think you had house music in one, acid jazz in the other, a big ass stage in the other one. Yeah, see, he said live band was on the stage, on the
Right,
big
right.
stage.
Yeah,
And then
shout out to
you
the brother.
live band, and then you got the hip hop room, dude. And it was crazy. And reggae too. Reggae dance
Oh man,
hall,
I was
you
lit,
know, that
bro.
was being played back then. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so anyway, I think I was in the hip hop room. Yeah, I was in the hip hop room because the band was playing it. I was in the hip hop room, and everybody disappeared when them shrooms hit, and all I was able to think about was my dad going like this.
Huh.
He was just going like this, and it was my time to dance. So mind you, when I got in a circle is when I started busting and I get to spinning, or I'm spinning and I'm hitting and I'm
Right,
sweating.
right, right, right.
Pow, pow.
Uh,
I'm going crazy, right? The mushrooms is now starting to kick. So when I open my eyes, everybody's not there no more. I'm just in a circle. It's dark. And in my mind, my dad is going, mm-mm, mm-mm. And it's like, and I'm just looking at him and I'm going harder and harder. And he like, mm-mm.
what? Nah, man.
And then
You
I look at
going
him
hard.
again and I just start going hard. And he was like, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay, yeah, respect, respect.
That's what I'm talking about. And
Mhm.
when I opened up, I had stopped dancing. And everybody was looking kind of at me like, and
Huh.
one of my homeboys came and grabbed me out the circle, ran up, grabbed me out the circle, ran me out out the circle and shit. Like, that was hard.
Oh, that was hard.
So
Okay.
whatever I was
Whatever you
doing, I
right.
didn't see it, and I didn't know that they was watching it because I forgot about all of that. The mushrooms had took me all the way to my pops, and my pops had just transitioned from me.
That's
You know what I'm
big.
saying? They took me all the way directly to my pops. To
That's a trippy story right there, brother.
one of
Because that
our
kind of
favorite.
remind me of, no, that kind of remind me of that Black Panther movie. You feel me? When brothers took the tonic and transferred, seeing his pops right there in the flesh and the abilities is there. You feel me? Through these different, mycelium, networks, and I appreciate you sharing that story. That's a deep testimony about our ancestry. You feel me? Our DNA, but also unlocking certain things by ingesting the mycelium, but also the deep connection. How I can just connect you straight to your DNA. That's a deep one, bro.
Yeah, I used to dance with my eyes closed sometimes, right? But it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't like that. Like it's sometimes you in there, like my brethren would know. My brethren who vibed the circle, our circles back in the day
Mm.
had their own psychedelic energy away from any type of drug use, any type of mind altering, any type of plant medicine, any type of anything, because it was drug use back then too.
Brother, okay,
They
brother.
was doing
Now,
drugs,
no,
you know
no,
what I'm saying? But
I can imagine, but I hate to cut you. I wanted to go into like some timelines and some
okay,
energy around that time because what timeline was this around? What years was this
this is the
that you?
90s.
This
This
is
is in
this
the
is
90s.
the '90s. So this is the
This is
early
early.
'90s,
This is the
early
early
'90s.
90s.
Okay, so we speaking about hip hop, and you were speaking about brothers was smoking, blazing, and what was the roster culture like? You said it was around you but
Yeah,
but
well,
but
okay,
but
so now we
what was the
talking.
blend with that? What was
So look,
like what was that?
poor righteous teachers, bro.
Okay.
Shouts out to wise, intelligent, okay?
Mm.
Poor righteous teachers, okay? Uh, 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 Brand Nubian,
Okay, that is
KRS
good.
One,
Mm.
okay? Gangstar,
Right. Shout out. Shout
yo.
out.
We had teachers in the music back then, you know
For
what I'm
sure.
saying?
For
Even
sure.
organized confusion, okay? And when Wu-Tang first came out, the first Wu-Tang, when they was hungry,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Mm.
That Wu-Tang,
Right.
that Wu-Tang right
Right
there.
now, that raw
Bro,
uncut gutter.
and that's just like the tip of the iceberg, bro. It was so much musical information. The black colleges used to be black college stores. BET used to have Teen Summit,
Right.
where they would do black college
No, that was
tours. Like,
amazing, bro. Like them was some powerful times, bro.
bro, it was, look, Brother J and the X Clan, YZ and them, like all of them, bro. Like, look, bro.
Now,
So that timeline
mm-hmm.
that time was a very magical time for us coming up, because that's where a lot of us started our whole revolutionary journey, our whole conscious journey, our visiting different schools of thoughts and stuff like that, and just kind of getting into our culture more. So those musics aided us in becoming the type of parents we are even today. You know what I'm saying? Like we had a whole different upbringing. So that in the mix with the mushroom culture as well, just coming in for a lot of us, we thought all that was psychedelic white boy stuff. So we didn't even, we on our blackness. So anything that wasn't herb was some white boy shit. And we really wasn't doing it back then. And we really was against that kind of shit. Like we come from a time in hip hop where we hated money. Imagine that. We did everything we did without money most of the time, bro.
It was the
It was
vibration.
talent.
And
It
energy.
was
Yeah.
it was everybody wanted to do it, and everybody wanted to be dope at it. So everybody shared and did what they had to do to make shit happen, and make a thing happen. Like sometimes it just didn't take money. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it just,
Nah,
we came up in a culture where the money was the big league. That's where all the wicked shit was. That's the surface,
exactly.
you know.
Nah, nah,
So
nah, nah, nah. You open my mind up to some different activations, and I don't know if you might be able to answer this one, but it sounds like that the use of certain like activations with different plant medicines, along with the raw talent and creativity, helped to spark a lot of stuff in hip hop. And a lot of people maybe not see, marijuana, cannabis, as a plant medicine, but truthfully though, you know what I'm saying, on a global level, in my opinion, that's one of the most introductory ones, one of the most well used ones, and actually, something that is a gateway. They say like in drug terms that cannabis is a gateway, but I believe it is in a certain
yeah,
sense a gateway to the other worlds of leading on to mycelium.
it,
And you was talking about how the mushrooms was around and y'all was starting to cultivate with the music and the dance and stuff. You think that other people like on the East Coast and other groups outside of y'all groups was like doing the same thing? You feel me?
yeah. I'm under the belief, well, not really the belief, because what I've learned is
Mm-hmm.
that one thing can happen in a lot of different places at the same time.
Exactly.
You dig what I'm saying? Like hip hop, the energy. We wasn't the only kids doing that. There's kids all over this place doing that. That's what made it fun. That's what made it what it was, is because it was all over the place. Everybody wanted to do it. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? Like we ain't the only ones that heard Poor Righteous Teacher
Right.
in the hood. You know what I'm saying? We was the ones bumping it so everybody else could hear it too.
Yeah,
You know
exactly.
what I'm saying?
Yeah, it
So
was
we was
cool.
making sure that they heard
Right.
that stuff. You know what I'm saying? We was running around looking like what we listened to. We was being what it was. So it was a good time. It was a real good
No,
time. You know?
that's powerful, brother. I appreciate you sharing this. It's giving me more information about the upbringing of the West Coast hip hop scene. You know what I'm saying? And like
Yeah.
I said, the more conscious. And I grew up on a lot of that music. In the conscious music coming out the East Coast. Like Tribe Called Quest or
Well,
like the
Quest,
Gang Starr. You know what I'm saying? And many other ones.
the
But
whole native tongue family,
yeah, exactly. But
basically. Yeah.
but when it comes to wellness, though, you know what I'm saying, and when it comes to like health and wellness in the space of like hip hop or just like
Back then, look,
mhm.
we had the Good Life
Okay,
Cafe.
okay,
Okay, the Good Life,
hmm
where the Project Blow was born from. The Good Life was a health food store, a health food place, a restaurant type vibe,
hmm
and you go and get your wheatgrass, you know, get your vegetarian salad, and your vegetarian sandwiches and stuff like that. And I say vegetarian salad because just because you see a lot of greens on that plate don't mean it's vegetarian after you slather some sauce on it or
right,
some dressing.
right,
You dig what I'm saying?
exactly.
It was more of a holistic, raw, whole food type of a vibe. So the plant medicine played its part in hip hop even back then. You just had to be plugged in with the elders. You had to be in the spaces that elders was at. That's what made Leimert Park such a staple in Los Angeles, because you had a direct connection to the elders, and you can go and ask some questions and get some
Hmm.
answers.
Hmm.
You can go and see some examples and learn how to live. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
With these elders in Leimert Park. So we used to go over there all the time, and Still to this day, we go to Leimert Park, but we could go there specifically for the energy and the information that we was going. I'm talking about my crew that we
Yeah.
was going to either getting or giving. You understand what I'm saying? So the plant medicine was always there. Like we talking about before Dr. Sabies became famous for what he was already doing back
I was
then
gonna ask you about that.
on a
Like,
hush.
right,
Like
right,
just for people in the community. Like we used to see Dr. Sabi all the time.
right,
Like you
right.
go and talk to the
You
man
gonna
like he
talk
was
to him
right
straight
there.
up.
Like he
Right,
was right
right.
there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he wasn't like you can't get to him type shit. And he was humble back then, you know, he just tell you what he tell you and you know, that's that. You know what I'm saying? You either take it or leave it. You know what I'm saying? But we had Dr. Sabies, you got Dr. B, you had a couple of
Wasn't
other people. Man, you had a lot of
Aries Lathan out there for some time too?
huh?
Aries Lathan, the
Yeah.
raw food
Yeah. Yeah.
specialist. Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, for
Mm-hmm.
sure.
Mm-hmm. They had a lot of people out here. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them I don't know by names. I know them by faces and energy and information though.
Exactly. There you
A
go.
lot of good. Yo, Leimert Park, man, a lot of people came through Leimert Park and dropped jewels. I mean, some
Yeah.
of them just came and spilled a whole bag of jewels. You know
Nah,
what
not
I'm
real
saying?
talk.
It's
I
a
mean,
lot.
I'm just really getting more familiar. You feel me?
Like, for instance,
Mhm.
right? When I learned that we have parasites on our eyelids, Dr. B taught me that
Mm.
in Leimert
Shout
Park. He was
out.
doing a lecture at Leimert Park. And he was telling everybody that the little circles that you be seeing sometimes, like just be floating in the air, like
Mm-hmm.
circles just kind of floating. He said those are parasites floating
No,
past your
but
eyelid.
that's deep. You said that I ain't seen that in many, many, many years. You feel me?
But
But
you,
but I know what
but
you're
look
talking
how you
about,
been,
though. Yeah,
look how you
that's a
been
trip.
eating though.
Now you
Look how
close
you
your
been
eyes one
eating.
time. Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
you know, you've been doing all kind of like real things, like you know what I'm saying, like sunbathing, sun gazing. Well, you've been doing it all. Plant medicine. You've been going to different places. You're not gonna see those kind of things
No,
again.
no, no. I feel you. I feel you. I feel you.
You
Nah,
got
but
rid
for
of that
sure
years
though.
ago.
I hear what you're saying though. That's a trip, man. So because I know you deep into the space of health, wellness, like plant-based foods and also working with plant medicine, and I don't see it as often, you feel me, as common. So I was just asking you like what kind of like kept you in that space. Like you said, many people probably came around and a lot of us and dropped some information to Jews might have been accessible, but what like made you like just like stick to that path and know that was the path for you.
Well, first things first, I I like to get things right, you know. I like to get things right. And so me wanting to get things right in life kind of kept me on a 1-2 with everything I'll be really dealing with as it pertains to food. Like I never liked chewing meat.
So you never like really dealing with me.
I never liked chewing meat.
Yeah, I feel you.
I always was told that we have to chew till the food is kind of juice, till it turn into juice, basically.
Okay.
Okay, or something close to juice because the body can metabolize it better, process it
Right.
better, right? And so when I was a kid, one of the things I noticed is when we ate those roasts and that thick meat, like the beef, I used to chew that for like
That fat be there
forever.
forever.
It's like because I'm
What you
trying to
talking
make it
about,
small.
bro?
What y'all trying to make it small? You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get it to be liquid, and it's just staying the same, but just losing flavor the whole time. But it's staying the same, but it's
It's the
losing
deep
flavor.
one now
And
for
so
real.
when I take that out of my mouth and I look at it, and I'm like, nah,
What is that?
like
Nah,
what
I feel
is
you. I
this?
feel
Like
you. Nah,
you
real
feel
talk. I
me?
was on the same vibe.
So that's what kind of got me away from all of that. It was just a logic for me. It was like a logic. And then when I
It
went and
makes
saw
sense.
X as a kid, that sealed it up for me. When I saw, Denzel Washington play Malcolm X, and he went like that, and everybody and walked that way,
Hmm.
bro.
Hmm.
Like that whole movie changed my life.
Man, shout
I ain't gonna
out my next man. Powerful spirit, powerful energy,
that
bro.
movie changed my life. Shout
Mm.
out to everybody who's tuned in right now.
Right, yeah. Shout out to everybody tuning in. And then on that note,
I
bringing
see
up
y'all.
Malcolm X,
What's up? Love,
you
love,
feel
love.
me? Real talk and bringing up that, you know, we both, strong melanated, men, you feel me? Standing on the divine masculine and, I'm feeling like, it's an attack on that energy and like, and our brothers, you know, unifying right now. We out here in the Bay, we doing men's unity movement where, you know, we bringing brothers together. You know what I'm saying? We tapping in with nature, we tapping in with health, wellness. We doing, you know, our spirituality and, you know, helping each other heal. But what's like some things we got to do to come together, you know, as black men, you know, to unify right now, as melanated men to unify. You feel me?
If we could just stop for a minute and just agree that that's what we're gonna
Hmm.
do. Just all come together and just stop and say, we're gonna do that thing right there and get started. I think everything else will be, you know, all right. Because what's up is things are gonna have to play out and work out. There's gonna be some ups, downs, left, rights, ins, outs. It's gonna be some disagreements. It's gonna be a whole lot of that. But all of that's necessary to get to where we're trying to get to. You see what I'm saying? Which is the goal. If you look at your own personal life and you find yourself at any given time, like at any time today, if you find yourself feeling good, right? Feeling grateful,
Hmm.
okay? Feeling full and like genuinely happy, right?
Yes.
Then it's everything that you've ever been through in your life that got you to that moment and that feeling.
Hmm.
So anything done out of that right there,
Yes.
and you wouldn't be feeling like that in that moment. You dig what I'm
Yes.
saying? And so if we could all come together in ourselves and say to ourselves that the next time the conversation or the idea come up, I'm going to do a little bit more to ensure that we get to that actual space. I think we'll be getting we'll be moving in a good direction. Because right now, it's like we say it so much, it's getting old, but
Hmm.
it's not so old to where we're now in a lot of spaces, except in the default. You feel
Yeah.
what I'm saying? We accepting the default, which is the saying that black people can't work together, black people can't get it together, black people can't. You know what I'm saying? I personally have always said, and I've been guilty of the same shit I'm talking about, so I'm not gonna act like I'm out of the, you know what I mean? But I've learned to do
Hmm.
different. I've always said that it's gonna take something of a catastrophic nature to bring black people together for us to get it right. I've always said that. I've said that since I was about 14 years old. Okay, when I first started coming into knowledge of self, I said that. And so far, the only time we've been able to come together on anything has been when catastrophe happens. You see what I'm saying? And now I'm talking about cataclysmic. I'm talking about
Right.
the earth itself. I'm talking about, you know, water rising over houses type shit, like how it was before. You see what I'm saying? Um, and so because I come from that mindset, you know what I'm saying, and because that's what's be on my mind, this right here, you know what I mean? It's a tabernacle. It's a safe haven. It's a place for people to be able to, you know, we just have fires, you know, catastrophe again, where we needed to come together, right? And one of the only things I felt like I could do was just open my doors as a church to people, you know, First Church in Mycology, open my doors up, you know what I mean? Uh, and help how I can, you know, take in some of the donations and things like that and make sure that they were, you know, given to the people that needed it the most. And that happened through the youth. You know what I'm saying? The youth came through with those plugs and with those, you know, all I did was state a desire. How can I help? I want to be helpful. You know, in a meeting with the youth was like, yeah, this is what we're gonna do then. This is how we do that. You know, this is how we show up for the community. This is how we're gonna do it this time, you know. And shouts out to Tiger, Hamoon, Hunter, you know. Those are three of the major people who come together here to really get things done. You know what I mean? When we have our fundraisers and when we have our events, you know, Carolinas, Chef Carol, you know what I'm saying, Jabu, you know, Blessed from Blessed Culture Fire Shop, you know, Blessed Fire Culture Shop, Blessed Culture Shop Fire.
Mm.
All of the Culture Shop Fire Blesseds, though any way we can say it, we say it. You know? Shout out to my
Bless
brother.
up. Bless up.
Play with him like that all the time. Shout out to him too. But yeah, that's what this is about. That's what the team, the family, you know, we help in catastrophe where we can because that's me recognizing that it's going to take that kind. It took that for us to be able to have the space and time
Mm.
all of our attention to one thing, which is our coming together and helping each other out. You know what I'm saying? If we can't do it financially, we do it physically with love and attention paid to those who need it. Do it spiritually with sharing in the happy and creating more of it. You know what I'm saying? We do it by making sure the kids don't have to feel, or the youth don't have to feel, the blunt force of what the adults is putting them through in this world. You know what I'm saying? Because they can't even grow up right because we can't get it right. So this is an opportunity that I'm presenting, and my idea of what it looks like to get it right, you know, to help start this togetherness that we was talking about in the first place. You know what I'm saying? We have men groups here sometimes, you know what I'm saying? We're working on getting the women here so they can have empress time, you know, whereby as I just free up the place and I'm going to leave.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna leave a empress that can run the place in charge. They could have their time for their healing without any type of masculine anything, you know what I mean, for a change.
Right.
You know what I mean? They could just do their thing amongst each other. You know what I'm saying? All I want to do is be able to open the door and make sure they're secure. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. Make sure the place is protected. Let them do their thing. So we're working on that, you know what I'm saying, in the near future as well.
That's what's up, brother. Man, y'all doing a lot, man. I want to shout you out, brother, and give thanks because that space you created is a temple, a sanctuary, you know, for everybody in the community. You feel me? And you know, that's why I love you. And I support you, bro. And especially, you know, through, like you said, through the natural disasters out there, with the fires and everything. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate y'all holding space and holding it down. So we want to let people know how they can support you. You feel me? Also, I know you got a beautiful art gallery coming up soon, so you can let the people know how they can support you and, you know, all the work you're doing, you know, with your art gallery.
Well, as far as support is concerned, as a church, donations is always one of the main components of, you know, help or you know, outreach and things of that nature. Donations are very important. They're very helpful. So we encourage that. Also, physical help as well. You know, coming in as a volunteer when we have our activations, you know, helps out a lot. Having people who actually are skilled in things like grant writing, accounting, who have a business savvy, things of that nature. We encourage them to also come in and become a part of what we're doing, join in, and see how they can help the community and the movement as well, and utilize some of their talents towards that effort there. So those are some of the ways, you know what I'm saying, you know, just come in and basically take advantage of the space, you know, rent the space out, you know, for your art shows, rent the space out for, you know, maybe office space or something like that, you know what I mean? You know, just come in and get involved, you know, come and learn, come and give information, you know, have something to, you know, share with others, and in that way, when others share with you, it's a reciprocal thing and it helps things move forward, you know. We do all that under the cap, you know. If y'all don't know what under the cap is, this is under the cap. That's the cap right there. And so everything we do under that mushroom cap right there. So, you know, we give thanks.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I'm saying? That's
Yeah.
ones and ones can help. Come in, donate, you know what I'm saying? Become a part of what we have going on, add on, pour into, and then, you know, reap from as well. You know, again, too, like that's another thing about hip hop in the 90s. You know, hip hop in the 90s was a thing that we had to pour into. And the difference between hip hop then and now is now hip hop is something everybody want to take out of. They want to take out. Remember to pour into what feeds you, pour into what gives you life, pour into what gives you sustenance, you know what I mean? Pour into what gives you happy, you know, fulfillment, pour into that, you know, even if that's yourself, like don't forget to fund your own endeavors, you know, don't forget that. You know what I mean? Because I do a lot of that. Like a lot of the things I do are funded through energy and just through work and effort and just through finances too. The art show that I'm going to be having is coming up June the 6th. You know what I mean? It's going to be a nice big art show. I'm painting with mushroom coffee. You know what I mean?
Mushroom coffee.
Yes,
What?
sir.
Okay.
I'm using mushroom coffee and raw canvas, and I'm painting, and it's going well. I'm very happy with what's going on, and I'm excited to share that with everyone, just to again show another way that we could utilize mushrooms. You know what I'm saying? Just
No, for sure. No, it's definitely multifaceted.
yeah, man. It's just one of those things where I wanted to express mycelium in a different with it just in a different medium. You know what I'm saying? So I got these lovely all these paintings up here right now. My goal is 13. I'm on number 11.
Come on.
You know,
And the bond number
and
2.
yeah, I got 3 more. I mean, 2 more to finish after that. And I bring them all to 85%. Now I have to go in and do the rest and seal up all of it in time for the show. This has been a great journey too, because what I'm doing in this piece, this show is called The Art of the Covenant. This exhibition is called The Art of the Covenant. And what I'm doing is I'm sanctifying all of the ones who I recognize to do the work in my surrounding community and things of that nature. So it's way more than 13 people, okay? But for right now, the goal is to get 13 paintings.
Gotcha.
There will be more people featured and painted to get the point across so that they could realize, understand, and witness how I see them and what they mean to me and how I think the world should see them as well. You know what I mean? So this art exhibition is going to be big for me because it's me showing what's on my mind and how I feel to the people. This is how I represent what's on my mind right here. You know what I mean? I want to give y'all a sneak peek, but I don't want to give it away at the same time.
Exactly.
I want to encourage everybody to come to the show and see it for real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
But let me see, because I know I gotta sneak. I gotta give you something.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Do it for the people then. Do it for the people then, brother. That's what's up. And appreciate you coming through with that. You know what I'm saying? It's something new, you feel me? With the mushroom paint, you feel me? That's what's up, bro.
All right, so look, I'm gonna show y'all this one time. I'm gonna show y'all this right here. Let's see. All right. There we go.
Haile Selassie, I give thanks to the Most High, the Queen Goddess. Yes. Woo.
So this is all done with mushroom coffee. All of it.
Woo.
Right?
Fine.
You can come in closer so you can see some of the details.
Oh, wow. That's a lot of mushrooms with the cannabis, with the emperor, with the lion, the judo. Man, royalty.
Right? You have the flowered Ethiopian national flower right there by the Empress Omega, Queen Menin. And that's Emperor Haile Selassie. This is the art of the covenant.
Covenant. Come on, bro. Woo.
I'll explain it more at the show.
That's fire. We appreciate this right here. I mean, that's activating me. Woo. Straight activation. That's what's up, dude.
It's going to be a 13-piece show. It's going to be on June the 6th. For those who are listening and those who are tuned in, it's going to be June the 6th. And yeah, I'm going to encourage everybody to come through. There'll be RSVPs. There'll be a flyer going out soon. Right now, we're still getting together all the details and putting all of the show together. But I'm looking forward to a big turnout and seeing a lot of loved ones and friends like yourself and the whole raw soul.
Come on, hey, we here, bro. You already know.
I gotta come on through, man, and bless up the place. You know, bring your energy.
Hell yeah, that's what's up.
Bring the energy because it's loved and it's welcomed always. Shouts out to Brother Peace too.
For sure. Give thanks to brother. Yeah, moving.
Yeah.
Yes. You know, but a few people in the chat was asking just a little bit more information about,
Well, let's answer some questions. Let's see.
Where can people send donation? What's the best way to contact you? Where are you located at?
Okay. Well, You can send donations to, well, let's start off with this. First Church of Mycology is located in Los Angeles, California, okay?
Mm-hmm.
The address 4630 South Vermont Avenue.
Say it one more time.
4630
Uh-huh.
South Vermont
Gotcha.
Avenue, Los Angeles, California, 90037, okay? It's the First Church of Mycology. Secondly, the way that you can donate is through Cash App, which is the First Church of Mycology's, donation box, basically. It's First Church of Mycology, which is spelled 1ST, Church of Mycology altogether, on Cash App, basically. And that's the way you can get in contact with any type of, well, that's the way you can donate. And then the way you can get in contact with me is through Instagram, or anyone from the church, really, through Instagram, which is at first 1ST underscore church underscore of underscore mycology. You can go to the page and see what we have going on there. I'm in the process of redoing my website, but the old site that we have, which basically has for right now our mission statement and a couple of ideas that we had going on, is www.firstchurchofmycology.com. Yeah, so those are some of the ways you can link us at the time for right now. There will be other ways to do that in the future, especially when the website is complete.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's that. When you see that, you'll be able to see merch. You'll be able to see the up and coming events that we have. We'll have a calendar and things of that nature. Keeping up on the events. You'll see the information about the church, about, plant medicine, about anything mycelia related. We'll also be featuring other people, giving people shout outs and opportunities to feature their works on the online too, just like we do here physically. So a lot of things are coming up in the future, so long as we can keep everything moving smoothly, encouraging ones and ones to become more involved. I am a craftsman, so there's a lot of other workshops that we do here as well. So just come through and, become a part of that. I'll start posting more about those crafts and workshops, and those who are available and want to take advantage of it can come in and, master their skill or hone another one. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Okay, let me see if there's any other questions out there. Okay, I think that's the only question that I see from the chat for now. But before we end, is there anything else you want to share, with the people about, this things to be aware of, for the rest of this, for the beginning, actually, for this 2025 cycle, you know what I'm saying? We coming to the spring equinox. So anything you can give to people, to be aware of, how to, keep things going, you feel me, out here?
Well, you asked me on these questions. You was like, do I see any prophecies connected with politics and medicines?
See,
You know
okay,
what I mean?
okay.
I'm not really a political type of a person. Like, I don't really delve into politics too much, right? And so I can't speak into any campaigns or to anything too strong. I just know what the people don't like, and I know what don't sound right. You know, I do my best to live my life without considering all of that, because to me, if I want different, I just need to get out the city, because the city is where all of that, where all of those rules apply. Outside the city, to me, that don't apply. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So while I'm in the city, I understand and understand that, hey, we're not supposed to be living where we work. And if you're gonna be in the city, you need to be working, and that's just what it is. Okay, it's just what it is. You know what I mean? Now, as politics wise, with the presidents and all of that kind of thing. I think all of them need to smoke some herb, and a lot of it. I think they need to definitely get them a couple of rounds of mycelium in them. Okay. All right. And I think they really need to really go deep with it. They probably need to check on, Baba Kalindi for some of his dose.
shout out, Papa.
Yeah, they need a Baba Kalindi dose.
Ooh.
Okay. Psilocybin in their system one time. And I think that'll start to shape things a little different, give things a little more, you know what I mean? Because if it's one thing I know is like, we're all on this same planet at the same time with each other, man. You know what I mean? And fire burns everything that it touches, okay? Water will rise over anything that it need to if it's still pouring. Like, we are a little bit of nothing in the grand scheme of
Right.
things, bro. We're not even the ants. We a little bit of nothing when it really come down to it. Let us in California get an earthquake one time, a real good one, and see how much any of your politics or whatever you was thinking. Watch that shit go out the door. Just watch it go out the door. You're not gonna be able to like even recoup until you get through whatever it is catastrophic, and it's time to pick it up and reboot and start it. But while it's happening, all of what you done thought you knew, all that shit goes out the door. You trying to find
For real. Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? So when I'm really looking at things, Ross, I'm like, politics or not, we still would have to do what we have to do to see tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Politics or not, I'm still gonna have to pay this rent. You know what I'm saying? Politics or not, I'm still going to have to get some food in my belly. You
Right.
too.
Yes, right.
When you got youth, politics or not, you still got to make sure. You not only got to take care of your youth, but you got to do your best to make sure they don't feel the blunt of the mistakes that adults are making.
Real talk.
That is so important because this is the future. You dig what I'm saying? And if they're traumatized out the game, bro, our future is,
It ain't
bruh,
too smooth.
it ain't looking too bright. You know what I'm saying? So, again, that's what the first church of mycology is about. We had these conversations here. We walk those dogs here. You know what I'm saying? Youth come through here. You know what I'm saying? Little people come through here. You know what I'm saying? And some of the traditions that get looked over due to the laws saying that you can't discipline children. We ain't over here beating the shit out of kids, but we are checking them when they get out of pocket.
Right.
We are reminding them to listen to their mama and their daddy. We are being a stern force. We are being a deep voice. We are walking them into the cars. You know, we are opening doors around here for women.
Right.
Okay. We're doing the things. You know what I mean? So it's like, but at the same time, it got to be a bigger effort in it. You know what I'm saying? So come and get involved and help out. And I'll come to your spaces and help out too. I'll come to your spaces and bring my energy, my ideas, and share as well. I just encourage ones to come this way with it too, so that we can move forward.
No, it's real talk. So, that's the word right there. You know what I'm saying? If you're out in the LA area or if you're visiting and traveling through and need a high vibrational spot where you can, build and connect, learn about, just a deeper understanding of life through mycelium, through plant meta Zen, what my good brother say, you feel me, where it can get you on that Zen, that high vibe, that good frequency, and, really build, you know what I'm saying, get back to nature, you know what I'm saying, get back to this healthy food, get back to being able to navigate, in the forest, in the jungle, in the woods, because that's what it's coming down to, like the brother's saying. If something do pop off, you feel me, where are people going to be at? You know what I'm saying? How we going to survive? How we going to live? How we going to eat? You feel me? We need to be having those type of conversations right now. You feel me? This is the year to do it because we see what's happening with the politics and the governments, and that was never for us in the first place, but it's obvious now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? For our people. So if it's obvious, let's make a stand and make a change. You feel me? And come together.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
And the first church of mycology is a place you can do that. One of the portals that has been activated out here in the Americas for our people in the West Coast. You feel me? You on the West Coast, man, and stop through, visit, build. We doing more online virtual builds like this too. So there's many ways to connect. You know what I'm saying? And don't be afraid. This ain't no time of no fear right now. Don't trip. who watching, who monitoring, because that got a lot of our people in fear too, being
Right.
monitored and watching,
I mean,
being afraid and stuff. Let all that stuff go. Our people, you feel me? We don't need to be worried about that.
you're not gonna be seen or heard if you can't be monitored.
Right. You always
You know what I'm
monitor, the most high monitor. Your higher self monitor your ancestors. Many
saying? Right.
people watching, so don't man.
Don't trip.
Trip off that.
You know what I'm saying? And also, I wanted to show you some of the products we have too, since we were on the subject of plant medicines and stuff like
Yes, sir.
that. I have one in particular person that, the company that I support called Micro Boost.
Yeah, man. Shout out.
Micro Boost.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Micro Boost got real nice things going on. Also, Eric Winsole and Ashe, his coffee as well. So I wanted to show you guys some of the mushroom coffees that we have right there. That's Micro Boost mushroom coffee.
Yes, sir.
And it has, it's cacao, it's coffee, it's chaga, it's reishi, quarter cup turkey, 12 lion's mane, 30 servings, available here at the First Church of Mycology. We also have mushroom gummies, the functional ones here. Okay. Same ingredients, but just in a gummy variety and form. And we also have some that are microdosed as well.
Come on.
Okay. Cannabis as well. Right. So I wanted to share that with you. And then over here, we have Ashe's work here too. Some of his coffee right there, as you can see.
Come on.
Information,
Yeah. So, got the products, got the vibes, the energy, music, frequency, but
the belt buckles that I build as well.
Come on.
Cultural belt buckles.
I see my great elder Marcus Garvey up in here. You feel me?
Got
Shout out.
George Washington Carver.
You see, we definitely want to go back and build on him. You know what I'm saying?
His Majesty Haile Selassie the first.
Thanks, Haile Selassie.
We also got pendants as well.
Come on.
Of the culture.
Come on.
Yeah. Here in the display booth, display case, just a couple of the things we have available here at the First Church of Mycology for the people.
Come on. You're doing it. And I want to give thanks to you for doing it, as a melanated man, though, you feel me? Because, you know what I'm saying? Being in the process of, building our thing back up, getting our power and our strength back, you feel me? And we used to own all of America. We still do, you feel me? But mentally and physically and spiritually, we was in ownership, you feel me? Helping the land, taking care of the land, you feel me? Building up our businesses and our economy, our health and wellness stations and all that, you feel me? So this brother right here is doing it, you feel me? So y'all definitely support it, you feel me? Come out and support the real king and the real God, you feel me? Give thanks.
Yes, I give thanks for that, my Lord, for real. And shouts out to the people, everybody who's helped out and who's came, and added on so far. Shouts out to all of y'all. Y'all know I love y'all. Deep place, in a very genuine space. There's a lot of names, one of the questions that you had asked real quick was, who are some of the people that influenced or inspired me to do this mycology work, right?
Mm-hmm.
Shouts out to Girly Myco. I don't know if y'all know her. This woman, Girly Myco, helped me out a lot. And another brother named Bob Stool. I want to shout out him too. I want to shout out my brother in London as well. Brother in London helped me out a whole lot. Then there's Reggie as well, from Oakland Highfield. And I met Reggie. The way Reggie was able to help me is I had never saw nobody with that kind of tenacity and not just that kind of like action about mushrooms or psychedelics or anything like that. And when I first met him, he was throwing a big show. And I just thought that was amazing too. Like, damn, okay. I thought this was only for, Caucasians or white folks and shit. And here it is, this man doing it. So I was looking around like, wow, okay. So what I learned from him is he has a fighting spirit that is laced with a healthy dose of I don't give a fuck.
Right. You need that.
Yeah, and I like that. I like that because it helps him stay focused on the goal.
Right. Yeah.
Not let nothing,
Not let
like
nothing
return.
mess with it or stop it or nothing.
Yeah,
You got the
he's
goal,
not
you got the
invested in
vision.
nothing else. Yeah,
That's
he
what
ain't
you're
invested
doing.
in nothing else but the goal. So
Right.
that embodiment, it don't matter like what he's throwing at him or who he got to get into it with or none of that. It's the goal at the end of the day. So I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? And so shouts out to Oakland Hyphy. You know what I'm saying? And also for actually coming and helping be a part of one of my first activations as a, mycologist here in Los Angeles. A lot of my work learning was done in St. Louis when I was just on my own. From all of my brethren and sister. I lived in St. Louis for 10 years. So when I was in St. Louis, that's where I really mastered my process, and then came here and revolutionized my process and got better.
Mm-hmm.
And then went there. Just
So,
coming home helped me really manifest what was on my mind in St. Louis. So I'm grateful for being able to come home.
that's what's up. Shout out, man. Give thanks for you, showing honor and respect. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how we got to keep it moving. Like, we can't forget, people, our ancestors in the past, but we can't forget people in the present and now who influence us and impacting us. And, we got a bad habit of giving flowers too late. You feel me? So,
Yeah. Well, with that being said, shout out Sister Carol, Chef Carol. Okay.
yeah.
Shout out Mama Ade. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out Naima Afi.
Okay.
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 Shout out Tiger.
Yes,
Okay.
Yes, I.
All right. Shout out Perry too. Okay. Perry Danielle. Y'all go check out her gallery is banging. Shout out Butterfly. You know what I'm saying? My brother Butterfly. Shout out my brother Jabu. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of names.
No, I know.
Straight up treat this like the Grammys or something and just really just give shout outs for the next 30 minutes. You know what I'm saying?
Got some time,
Yeah,
brother.
there's a lot of people that's about this wellness. Shout out Mama Tradition too. Elder chef, master chef of the community, health and wellness chef, who fed the bellies of a lot of us ragamuffins for years, decades. She's been out there feeding us, so we give thanks for Mama Tradition too in the community. Anytime y'all in LA, if y'all see Mama Tradition and she set up her food, go and support Mama Tradition while she's still with us. Trust me.
Man, that's real talk.
Prove you to do so.
Yes.
Okay.
Appreciate that, man.
She's definitely one of those ones. And shouts out to Baba Ben Caldwell as well from the Chaos Network. Y'all ever in Leimert Park, go and check out Ben Caldwell. He has a lot of good workshops and a lot of great things going on for the youth and elders and young adults alike. We have a lot of things lined up for the future as it pertains to the new technology that's out and and the way we get around and about the city. Really check Ben Caldwell off of Sankofa City. It's a very, 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 very innovative project, revolutionary project. It is very dope. And First Church in Mycology will be working with Ben Caldwell as well.